What's going on, everybody? Captain Gonzo with that Flight Sim channel. We are hot off the press. We just got back from Flight Sim Expo up in Providence, Rhode Island, and we have some exciting stuff to show you today. So as you can see, we're going to be taking a look at Wingflex's FCU Cube. That's the flight control unit, of course, controlling your autopilot functions and auto throttle functions inside most Airbus platforms. One of the things we want to highlight from these items is the following kind of features, right? So you can see right here, high performing. You've got backlight adjustment that is built in underneath the cube. You'll see it once we unbox it. These products are true plug and play, okay, guys? I mean it. You literally hook up your USB-C cable that's included in the box, and you go straight to the sim, and everything works. No programming. No countless hours trying to map every single knob and button. It also has the stands included, so you don't have to figure out a mounting solution. If you're like myself and Captain Flacco, we don't really have a full cockpit. We have desktops. This already has the base legs included. It's safe to fly with it anywhere. Obviously, we came back home from Rhode Island with them. Nice compact packaging. I mean, you can see this is probably, what, about a foot, maybe a foot and a half across. Nicely packed. Firmware upgrades are available online, free software from Wingflex's website. I've just downloaded it on my computer and it works great. Lastly, it does have aluminum components, so it does have a pretty good amount of weight to it, albeit still pretty lightweight. But anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and focus on the unboxing portion. So I'm gonna shift the box a little bit here. I'm just gonna open it, get the flap open. There we go. So you can see, I've already opened this before, so I apologize, it doesn't look perfect, but this is pretty much the idea, right? You've got a quick installation guide included here in the box. Kind of shows you what you have to do to get everything set up, but it's pretty straightforward, guys. Take that foam, you can see the USB cable. Again, we've already unboxed it, so it's not pretty and not sitting as it came originally, but it's just a USB cable. All right, so we're getting ready to lift the FCU from its packaging. I'm gonna do my best to keep this all in frame. Let's see. There we go. You can see that foam is nicely shaped. That looks good there. You can see all your knobs and buttons all have good tactile feedback. And look how compact it is, guys. I mean, this is perfect for most of us using a standard desktop. It's very compact. Again, not a one-to-one scale replica of the real life thing, but it does exactly what it has to do. We're gonna put this here for a second. You see this little white box here off to the side. Here you'll find your screwdriver that's included in the kit. Let me grab all my hardware. Got one more screw, there it goes, sorry. Not the best. I'm obviously doing this off-site here, off camera, but here's the legs. So we're gonna jump to the next scene of this video, which is us installing the legs onto the unit itself to show you how simple it is. All right, guys, time for the fun stuff. You can see I've got the FCU upside down. These legs are pretty simple to install. As you can see, you've got a solid side here, and then as well as a slotted side. So these slotted parts should face inboard of the unit. So here we go. You've got your 4 screws. You're gonna line it up as best as you can. Again, screwdriver included in the kit, nice and easy. So what we can do is introduce that fastener through the hole. And you can see how it has a hole in the top too, or the bottom technically. You can feed your screwdriver and kind of guide yourself to that hole and then get a loose install until you finagle the back one. Just a word of advice, this rear one is a bit harder to get to because you don't really have the same clearance, but we'll try our best here on the video. I'm gonna introduce the screwdriver, grab that fastener, and I'm gonna walk it into place. There we go. Let me tighten that front one more time. There we go. And now, just repeat the process. Once again, slotted side, facing inboard on the opposite end, reintroduce that fastener. There we go. And now for the back one. So again, just my tip, introduce that screwdriver through the hole, kind of angle it, grab onto your screw, and then just walk it into place. There we go, that's catching on. Be very careful too, these are tiny screws, so if you kind of start cross-threading them, you might damage the threaded insert part in the unit itself, or the hardware itself. So just take your time, be patient. It takes a few minutes. You can see I've got this put together in no time. Check tightness, and now we can make sure they're not moving around. There you go, you can see they're nice and sturdy. Also, look at the padding underneath. It's got those like rubber pads. They will stick to most surfaces. However, if you want some more rigidity, when you're pushing the buttons, you can put some of those 3M command strips and it'll really lock it in place. But here is a top-down view. You can see how it's sitting. It's nice and comfortable. I can press the buttons and it is not going anywhere. So pretty straightforward, pretty simple if you ask me, and I appreciate Wingflex's ability to give us everything we need out of the box so that we're not fumbling around finding the right Allen size, Allen key or screwdriver. Everything's included for you, and this is once again a true plug and play. Now we're gonna jump over to the EFIS and we'll be unboxing that in a similar fashion.
Hey everybody, Captain Flacco here, and this time I'm gonna be unboxing the EFIS Cube from Wingflex that we purchased at the Flight Sim Expo 2025. So this one, similarly to what Captain Gonzo just went over, high performance, backlit, it's plug and play. Again, stands included inside. We're gonna go over that. Pretty much all the firmware is online, very easy to download. We're gonna show you that as well, and all aluminum components. So this is the Electronic Flight Instrument System Cube, pretty much a condensed replica of the one from the Airbus A320. So in this unit here, you're gonna be able to control your flight director, you're gonna be able to control your barometer, master caution, master warning, all those functions here. You can adjust the range on your navigation system. You can change the different modes for your navigation system as well. So pretty neat that it comes with this stuff. And we're gonna go ahead and open the box now. All right guys, so right out of the box, you get your quick installation guide here. So check it out. If you need a quick installation guide, it comes with it, so beautiful. All right, USB cord, pretty lengthy as well, so you don't have to worry about finding a lengthy cord, you know, for different setups. So very nice that they give you a lengthy USB-C and a USB-B side to connect to. And here's the unit itself. As you can see, very compact. We're gonna go ahead and pull that unit out. Very nicely tucked in there. And there she is, boys and girls, the EFIS. So very, very nice, compact. There's all the buttons, very nice feeling to it. Chrono here, you can push, pull, you can swap this over into your different modes of your barometer. Depending on where you're flying, you know, you can switch it from mercury inches to HPA just by that, just like in the real aircraft or in the sim, you'll be able to see it. So you have your flight director here, landing system, ADF, VOR, both of them here. And then again, you can change your different ranges here when you're looking up in your PFD. When you have your navigation stuff pulled up, you can have your different ranges and your different modes here. So you have your ROS, VOR, landing system, nav mode, ARC, and your flight plan. That all comes in handy because let's face it, the less clicking you do, the easier it is to do this. So you have your constraints, your waypoints, VORs, NDBs, and your airport. So all these functions come in handy while you're flying and navigating in the flight simulator. So what we're gonna do now, show it out here. Very nice, very compact. And we're gonna go ahead and install the legs for you. So we're gonna put this to the side. And then just like the other box that Captain Gonzo showed, it has all the hardware included. It comes with the screwdriver. Let's put that out. Put it all in there. So there you go. Legs are included. Has the nice little pads as well. Screwdriver and the hardware there. So let's go ahead and clear this out and install the legs. Alrighty guys, so we got everything laid out. So we are ready to install these legs. Fairly simple, like Captain Gonzo explained in the cube, the other cube. These slots or inserts face inboard. So pretty much we're gonna have them facing like this each other. So we're gonna start off with this side. I'm gonna go ahead and place it there. Voila, there we go. The legs are secured. We're gonna go ahead and make sure they're nice and tight. Yep, it's not going anywhere. And there she is, guys. She is ready to go. We're gonna go ahead and move over to the desktop over there. and plug them in and show you the firmware side of it, how easy it is to plug it in, where to get the software and all that stuff. So let's go on and move on to that.
All right, y'all, here we are on Wingflex's website. As you can see, some nice cool shots of some of their articles. However, let's go and find that bridge software we need to test our EFIS and FCU. You're gonna go up here, you wanna go to support, find the bridge software link, and you scroll down here and you press that button right there that says download. Now I've already got a copy downloaded and installed, so I can just go straight to my desktop and open that up. All right, guys, here's the software, the Wingflex's bridge software, just like we did. Download it, install it, make a shortcut on your desktop if you have to. So we're gonna check it out. You've got a few tabs here, equipment. Obviously, whatever units you have from Wingflex connected to your USB. In this instance, I have a USB hub set up. As long as that USB hub is powered up, it should recognize the hardware. Now you can see that nothing's lit up. That is because we have to select which article we want to mess with. So let's start with the EFIS. Boom, look at it come to life, guys. You can see all your values live as you're adjusting. Here's my altimeter. Let's say we're flying overseas in Europe. We want to go back to HPA setting. There we go. That's all set up. Here's your other buttons and functions. Here's your rotary knobs for your navigation display change, landing system, your VOR, rose mode, nav, arc and plan. Here's your VOR and ADF switches. Notice if you have to pull on them and then go left or right, depending on what setting you want. Pretty cool stuff. And then same thing for your range. You can see your buttons are backlit. We can disable whichever ones we want. You'll see it on the software as well as on the unit. Now let's go over to the FCU. This is the one that has all the fun, cool stuff. Obviously your autopilot functions. You've got your heading knob here, speed, altitude. You can switch from 1,000 feet increments or 100 feet increments. Your vertical speed, you can press it to level off in the sim. You've even got the expedite option, which I know some units might not have that included. Your buttons up here, speed and Mach, heading, track, vertical speed, FPA. And now for the fun stuff, you can mess with your integrated backlighting right here with just the flick of one knob integrated to the panel. Now you'll notice that in this video, you're not gonna see the EFIS lighting up. That's because we're not in the simulator. We're only in the Wingflex bridge software. So once we fire up into the simulator, we're going to obviously jump into the Phoenix, and I'll show you how that actually functions as one unit. And it, guys, is going to blow your mind away how simple and how efficient it is to really be a plug and play unit. All right, guys, welcome aboard the flight deck of the Phoenix A320. We're here in Providence, Rhode Island, where we just left a few days ago. Anyways, let's get this show on the road. Let's get the battery hooked up. And let's enable external power. We're going to wait for the bits, the built-in tests to complete themselves, and then shortly thereafter we should see our EFIS and FCU panels come to life. So we're going to pause track IR here. We're going to flip the camera so you guys can see live feedback from the cockpit. There we go. Check it out, guys. There is the FCU and EFIS lit up. Here, let's try out the altimeter. Look at that, instantaneous. There's no delay. Let's enable the constraints. Obviously, nothing's going to show on the navigation display right now because the aircraft's still booting up. Let's give it a second. Self-test in progress. 40 seconds. Yada, yada, yada. All right, so here's what we're going to do so we can get better perception of that backlighting. We're going to set the time a little bit earlier in the morning. There we go. Now we can really enjoy the differences here in the lighting. So starting with the back panel lighting. There's the dimmer. You can see that. And again, all live feedback. You can see the knob right here rotating as I'm adjusting it so you can see it. Now let's go to the integrated panel lighting right here on this side. This is me on the EFIS or the FCU control. Look at that. And notice how both units are adjusting correspondingly, all right? You can see we can clear out our master caution. There we go. We've pressed it. Now, remember how I was showing these buttons on the software? So, if you're wondering, the captain sight stick priority or FO priority does not really work in Flight Sim as far as I know. So, what these buttons do is allow you to engage your navigation display to have your terrain. So, that button right there, right now we don't have the ADIRS enabled or aligned, so it's not going to show it. But that's how you control your terrain on and off with the EFIS controller. Your chrono will start your clock on your ND. You can see it back there on your bottom left corner. You can start and stop it. Here's your flight director switch or button. Landing system, look at the PFD, how it automatically updates to show that. If you're cruising and you're about to transition through flight level 180, boom, standard. And you're back descending through flight level 180, boom, press it, adjust set it to your destination elevation or altimeter setting. Here's the different modes. Again, for your navigation display, range. It'll make more sense once we have the McDo powered on and programmed. But check it out. Everything is seamless. You can switch. You can go into manage mode. You can go into open climb. Whatever you need to do, it's all available here. Look at that. Speed and Mach. And vice versa. Pretty straightforward, guys. So now we can set the aircraft up, taxi out, and get ready for departure, and we'll start commanding the autopilot as such. Alright, guys, here we are entering runway 23. Let's go ahead and get our lights on. Landing lights coming on. Strobes on. Runway turn off. Nose to takeoff. Wing inspection light on. Turn off the APU. Forgot about that. I forgot we got to set our altimeter. 3012. So here we go. You can see I am easily able to do that. We can start the clock. Chrono is on. Whoops. I think I turned it off. There we go. Let's go into takeoff power now. So here we go. Spool those throttles up. Let's go to flex. Rotate. Let's expand the range in our navigation display. We can see our first waypoint is jumper. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and enable direct to the next waypoint. There we go, direct to rifle. Let's start cleaning the flaps up. Flaps 2. Let's set thrust to climb. There we go. Let's engage the autopilot. We've got it set to 6,000 feet. Let's say we've got cleared up to flight level 180. You can see the dot is showing up as well as in the sim, so we are in managed mode. So the McDo is taking all that data and giving us the proper VNAV path to get up there. Oh, forgot to enable my flight director, so let's set that up now. And here we go. I'm going to zoom in on my navigation display as we're speeding up. Let's clean the flaps up. Check it out. So I am going to enable the terrain feature on the navigation display. Let me clear that master caution. Here we go. So just pressing the side stick priority. Boom. We've got terrain right there. And now let's say I want to zoom out even further. Check out my flight plan. There we go. I can switch views here. I can go to my plan mode. Zoom in on that. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than this, guys. It's all ready to go. And keep in mind, Captain Flacco made it a point to remind me, I have not mapped anything. This is literally out the box. Plug the USB in. That's it. The bridge software knows exactly what we have to do, what it has to do for what airplane. And it works, again, with the default A320, the 321, and even the 330. So as long as you're flying Airbus, it's all good. There we go. You can see I've enabled the ADF. We can go to VOR1. Let's get our constraints popped up. Let's get some airports in the navigation display. There we go. So now if we had an emergency for some reason and we can't make it back to Providence, I can look up right there immediately and figure out what's my nearest airport. If I don't want that to clutter my information, I can just remove it. Let's get waypoints. There we go. You've got all types of nav aids and waypoints enabled. NDB stations, VORs. And again, look how simple it is. You no longer have to do this and go up here with your mouse and, oh, I forgot to click this, or right click that, left click that. No, everything is right here. So like, let's say right now I needed to switch over from the nav mode to heading mode. So I can just pull on that button here and I can manually steer the aircraft. Let's say we got cleared heading 305. And let's say we got to level off here. Boom. Just like that. Look at that. The aircraft is automatically going to control speed to maintain 250 at this altitude. So this is a game changer, guys. Once again, this is from Wingflex. You can see how intuitive and how easy it is, especially when you have products like the Phoenix A320 family that they are known to have that fidelity and realism. Now you can enhance that by having all this at your fingertips, and you can stop clicking and start flying. So I don't know about you guys, but this is an absolute game changer for me. And Captain Flacco is going to be trying them out himself as well for the next few weeks. And I guarantee you that we will be making sure that we purchase additional units from Wingflex, because if this is the quality that they're putting out, I can't complain. Look at the digits too. I wish you guys could see that. When we talked to the vendors there at FS Expo, they mentioned how obsessed they are with the quality control, as far as even verifying that every digit is sharp and clear. And boy, are they correct, because there is no like soft edges. There are no edges that look shady or look a little blotchy. Everything is as sharp as it can be, and look, all real time. You can scroll away at your leisure. You can switch here, like I said, from hundreds of feet increments to 1,000 feet increment. Let's say we want to reduce that backlighting a little bit more. There we go, the integrated lighting. Now you've got just a natural color, but I like to have it enabled. It just looks cooler like that. Now let's say we're in vertical speed mode. We want to start climbing. There we go. Aircraft's going to start climbing. I mean, I don't know what else to say, man. It's a complete game changer, guys. Let's see what else we can come up with, but so far, this is amazing. And again, shout out to Wingflex for talking to us and establishing that relationship with us. We are more than happy that we made this purchase, and I have no complaints thus far. This is week 1 that we've been testing it out, and guys, phenomenally built. Just enough weight, just enough room that it takes up here on the desk. I can't complain, so more than happy. All right, so one thing that I do want to point out, and again, keep in mind, these products were not provided to us for free from Wingflex. We purchased it, albeit at a good discount price that they offered us. One thing I wish was different was the padding underneath these bases, because you can see if I'm just single-handedly pressing the button, look how the unit kind of wobbles up and down, because you still have to like defeat that resistance from the buttons themselves, which is nice, right? Because you want that natural clickiness. However, like even here with the speed knob, you see I have to hold it down with one side of my hand while I'm pressing the button. That is because if I press it, look how it's walking. So that's my only recommendation that I can say is if you're purchasing these items, go ahead and look into that 3M like command strips that go underneath here, and that way you have a more solid foundation that should stick to your desktop, and it'll eliminate that wobble. Otherwise, right now, because we keep adjusting this on my desk, and because I'm going to be swapping with Flacco over the coming weeks, I'm not going to put anything underneath it that's more permanent. So that's just my only observation. Another thing that you guys might notice as well is these knobs, they work perfectly fine. They do feel a bit mushy, but to that point, I've never sat behind the controls of an Airbus in real life and gotten to mess around with the FCU knobs to really feel what they feel like, but they do have some mushiness. That's the best way I can describe it. However, this could also be because they're brand new, so maybe over time they kind of break in and have a more crisp and tactile response. But right now, those are my only 2 things that I recommend. So number 1, look into an alternative mounting solution in terms of what you can put underneath, like the 3M command strips. And secondly, just be prepared, because again, you have to defeat that resistance on each knob and button, and otherwise you're going to have movement on the units themselves, and it could get annoying over time, but nothing that will break the bank and nothing that's going to completely mitigate you from using these units overall. All right, guys, so overall, what do we think about these products? Well, you already know it, that we're suckers for good hardware, good software, and good, what do you call it, additions to the immersion, right? We slowly have been building our cockpits at home with, you know, various peripherals and simple stuff. So definitely Wingflex's stuff here has been tremendous so far. And besides those little things that I kind of complained about, those are just personal things that I would do differently. I can't complain. Right now, looking at their compatibility list straight off their website. So on the Microsoft Flight Simulator franchise, they are compatible with the fly-by-wire Neo and the A380. However, just be warned, remember that the A380 and the A350, they're slightly different. They're more modern takes on the Airbus cockpit. So if you're sticking to the legacy products or even the Neo variants from the A320 family and the 330 and heck, even the A340, you'll see pretty much a more one-to-one transfer or transition from those cockpits to these. So other than that, we've got the ProSim A322, the Aerosoft A330, the Phoenix family, of course, the AnyBuilds A310, A320, AnyBuilds A321 and 330, the AnyBuilds A350, FS Labs A320 CEO, the Headwind 330-900X, which is that Neo. And then if you're over an X-Plane, I guess they are compatible with the JAR Design A320 Flight Factor, the TOLIS or TOLIS. I never know how to pronounce that correctly. Their lineup of aircraft include the 319, 320, 21, 330-900, and the 340-600, as well as the Airbus 330 that's included in X-Plane 12. Lastly, on Prepared 3D, they have the ProSim A320 and the Yihel. Never heard of that one. That's an interesting one. But guys, this is, again, straight off of Wingflex's website showing their compatibility. I don't think there's much more to say or kind of showcase. You guys can see how immersive and how amazing it is and how simple it is to integrate this with whatever Airbus product you decide to fly. So for now, guys, stay tuned because we'll continue to be using these products for the coming months and kind of testing them out to see how they hold up to repeated use and abuse. I'm not saying we're going to go to the nearest tallest building and drop them. That's not really going to be the best way to do it. But overall, I think we can expect that the quality of these products is going to hold up in the long term. Once again, guys, you can get these units for $199 a piece. And I think that is more than efficient and an effective price point for you guys to take your flight simming experience to the next level. Anyways, guys, enough of my rambling. If you haven't done so already, check out that subscribe button just below. It doesn't hurt you. It doesn't help. It does help us. And it's going to help us grow our community little by little so that we can continue to produce content and give you guys the latest and greatest firsthand. So with that being said, this is Captain Gonzo with that Flight Sim channel, wishing you all smooth landings, happy flying, and we'll see you on the next one.